it's us again.
Yeah, we're back with another familial love story.
I know, my favorite.
Yeah, couldn't give that one up. So
no, couldn't give it up. We just decided to go ahead with it because Joseph has such an amazing story.
Yeah,
in so many ways. There's so much to him, and we won't be able to hit it all today. But I think the first thing we want to remember and recall is that Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob, right?
Yeah.
And then Jacob had 12 sons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Jacob, he had an interesting, story as well. But yes, he ended up having 12 sons, and he had first worked to, have his wife, Rachel, for like 7 years. And then, he got bamboozled, got,
He got the older sister, Rachel.
Leah.
Leah.
Yeah. And then he wanted Rachel, but got Leah. And then after another 7 years, then he got Rachel. And so, you have Leah and like there's two maidservants that are providing Jacob with heirs.
Yeah.
And then Rachel finally gets to have Joseph, and boom, that's the favorite.
That's the favorite. Yeah. You know how that is. Favorites and families, that can be difficult sometimes. And it causes jealousy. It causes all kinds of stuff. And
it does.
In this story, it does cause a lot because they end up, they put him in a well first. They put Joseph in a well first. And then
Reuben was like, hey, no, let's not kill him. Let's, just put him here for a little bit, and then we'll just get him back out later,
Yeah.
Fine.
And the other brothers took him out and
selling him.
Put him into slavery by selling him into slavery.
Yeah.
So, they did a lot that day. They got rid of a brother. They lied to their father.
Yeah, their father, grieved, was just
heartbroken. But, this is the thing, is God still uses people.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph was used mightily. He went through an awful lot.
He did.
He was put in slavery. He ended up in jail.
An affair. And put in jail.
Happened. Yeah.
He was forgotten in jail.
Yes.
But he was also made like the prison warden,
He always found favor. He always found favor, and which allowed him to become the second-hand man to the Pharaoh.
Yeah, he rose through the ranks, really, and he was obedient to God, even through all of that, and he proved himself to the earthly rulers, and Pharaoh was like, he's smart. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I want him second in command.
That's right. And they went through a famine. The other areas, he saved up for 7 years. He saved up all the grain and, kind of pack things, save things like, I don't want to say hoarding, but he did, and then stored it away. And then they had a famine in the land. But Egypt was in plenty.
Yes.
So they did not have a problem. But again, you've got, how we had our first story talking about, or our second one when we were talking about Amalek going because of a famine in the land. He went to Moab. Well, now you've got a family. The rest of Joseph's brothers decide they're going to come to Egypt to see if they can't get some food. Yeah. And who do they run into? They don't recognize him.
Nope, because obviously they don't think that he's going to be up there in rank.
Oh, can't even imagine.
And he's, obviously changed throughout the years. He's wearing, Egyptian garb. They aren't going to recognize him from that kind of, stance and distance. Yeah. And so Joseph tests them. And, that...
Which I kind of don't blame him, in a sense. He was really testing them. And
he wants to see how much they've changed, really.
Yeah. And so they're, that kind of comes around twice. Yes. And then he tells them to go get their baby brother. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. His baby. And actually it was his full brother.
Yes. Yeah. Benjamin. It was Rachel and Jacob's son. Yeah. The youngest one. Whom actually Rachel had died in childbirth with.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just reading it the other day. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
I was just reading it the other day, and Rachel had died in childbirth.
Well, so that made it even harder. So
obviously Isaac is not wanting Benjamin to go. So yeah, and he's like, I know what happened to his other brother when he was around you. I'm not letting Benjamin go with you. You know, I'm not trusting this. But I don't remember which brother was in jail during that time. But there was a brother in jail.
Keep a brother. Yeah, he kept a brother. He kept a brother there.
Yeah. So that it would make sure that he would get to see his youngest brother.
Yeah, he wanted to see the youngest one. And it really, he was surprised to be able to see his dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he tests them and they get back to it. And so in Genesis chapter 45, verses 1 through, 8? 1 through 8, and then 14 and 15 is what we're kind of focusing on here. So we have that Joseph is providing for his brothers and his family right now. Then Joseph could not control himself. Before all those who stood by him, he cried, "Make everyone go out from me." So no one stayed with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, so that the Egyptians heard it, and the household of Pharaoh heard it. And Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father alive?" But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed at his presence. So Joseph said to his brothers, "Come near to me, please." And they came near, and he said, "I am your brother Joseph, whom you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. For the famine has been in the land these 2 years, and there are yet 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth, and to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and ruler over all of the land of Egypt." And, he asks about his father and bringing them all up. And then it goes
it's this is what's interesting. Again, God uses what's meant for bad, meant to bring about good.
Yeah.
And had Joseph not been in the position he was, the remnant of Israel would not have been.
No. Can you imagine that?
No.
Because it started from, that those are the tribes of Israel, because a little other extra information, Jacob got his name changed to Israel.
To Israel. Mm-hmm.
So those are the 12 tribes of Israel, and if they weren't saved, we wouldn't have the Jews. We wouldn't have Israel. We wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And
isn't he wonderful?
Seriously. And Joseph knew that. Like he said, God sent me here.
Yeah.
It was not you. I forgive you. It's,
And here he is. He's been in Egypt, right? Mm-hmm. With pagan gods.
Yes.
They don't.
He's surrounded by that. Yeah.
They're surrounded by that, but he stayed faithful to God and gave God the credit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and through his faithfulness, they were saved.
Yeah, they were saved. And so this last little bit, verses 14 and 15, is that the one you were going to read?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, he's asking about bringing his father back, and just bringing his youngest brother with them. And he says then, his brother is there with him. But then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. For after that, his brothers talked with him. It was such a emotional reunion because, oh my gosh. Yeah.
I think that's redemption.
It is.
Is it not? Forgiveness. What else could we say?
Redemption.
Forgiveness, redemption, just kindness, goodness, mercy, grace.
Mercy, grace.
All the fruits of the Spirit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
self-control.
Yeah. yeah, definitely.
Because, not everybody would be willing to forgive and forget, but he did.
Yeah, that changed the whole course of his life.
It did.
But he was able to show that love to his brothers and their families, to bring them into safety, into plentiful, and save them from the famine.
Yes.
So, and again, it came from he was worshiping God and obeying him, and that love to God, he was able to show love to his family and show forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much there. Yeah. So much. That was the speed. That was the speed story of Joseph.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to
Joseph on speed. Yeah. On steroids. But yeah. So, through the 3 different stories we've shared, it's all been about love, right? Yeah. For someone.
Yes.
And God's love on top of all of it, that brings it all about, brings it together. And then of course, really in so many ways, redemption.
Yeah,
a redeeming love. I know there's a song about that, I'm sure.
Well, like you said, the whole Bible is a love story.
Yes.
It's all connected, you know. God just shows his love and foreshadows, you know, Jesus all throughout the Bible. Yes. And it's all tied together. There's nothing that's a loose thread in here.
Yeah. And I think about even God, how many times we mess up, but he still throws his arm around us and loves us and kisses us and
and he
cares for us, forgives us. So good story. I'm glad we did that one. So listen, you guys have a great week. And I think that for sure this time we're going to go to a new area of love. And we're excited to share that the next time.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you later.
Bye.